First story, though, takes us abroad to South America with news just in that there's been an attempted coup in Venezuela. Venezuelan opposition leader and self-proclaimed acting president Juan Guaido said on Tuesday that troops had joined the campaign to oust President Nicolas Maduro as the government has vowed to put down what it's called an attempted coup. Now on Skype we have the editor of the Venezuelan .com, Lucas Koerner. Thanks so much indeed for joining us, the editor of Venezuela Analysis. Thanks so much for your time. So it seems as if something pretty dramatic is happening. There's been unrest for a long time, opposition to President Maduro for some time. What's different about today?
What appears to have changed is that a segment of the Venezuelan National Guard grouped around the National Assembly, which is controlled by the opposition, together with elements of the security apparatus, the SABC, appeared to have rebelled against the elected President Nicolas Maduro, released the opposition leader Leopoldo Lopez, and are attempting currently to take over the Carlota Air Base, one of Venezuela's largest air bases located in the east of the city. So as of yet, they are not successful in taking over that airbase, and it remains unclear to what extent they have support in the other branches of the military. President Maduro announced just recently that he retains the support of all troop commanders in the country.
It must be difficult to try and figure out just exactly who's on which side and what's happening. But is this something we're seeing across the country, all 24 states?
As of now, it appears from the personal information that we have that this is a phenomenon that is restricted to a small segment in the upper middle class east of the city, in which the supporters of Juan Guaido are rallying in an attempt to take over the airbase with the support of some mutinous elements of the military. But as I mentioned, it does not appear that there are other military uprisings taking place at this time.
All right. Has there been any word from other sections of the military in terms of whether these these soldiers who are seemingly siding with Guaido are renegade or very much a part of the main military?
The Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez just issued a statement declaring his loyalty to the president and referring to these elements as traitors, as mutinous soldiers. And as of now, there has been no statements by any ranking military commander in support of Guaido or in support of these mutinous elements. So we cannot say at this time that this is a larger uprising. What this appears to be is an attempt by the opposition to provoke President Maduro and the Venezuelan government to arrest Mr. Guaido, and therefore provide a justification potentially for a U.S. military intervention, as the United States has repeatedly threatened.
Is Mr. Guaido very visible at the moment? He's been tweeting on social media saying that the moment is now and inciting people to take to the streets. Is he visible in the streets? Do we know where he is?
As of now, he is currently from what we know, in the east of Caracas, with supporters in the vicinity of the airbase. More than that, I cannot tell you at this time. It is important to note that he has been calling for marches over the past 3 months since he swore himself in as interim president on January 23rd, and these marches have been dwindling in numbers, and there's been a concern about losing momentum. So this may be an attempt to break that deadlock and a final push, as he calls it, to oust President Maduro.
And where is President Maduro?
President Maduro appears to be, we don't know exactly where he is at this time. He may be in Miraflores Presidential Palace. He may be in the Tiuna military base in the south of the city. But his supporters are indeed gathering at Miraflores Palace in order to defend him and his presidency. And it might be likely that he will go there later, if he's not there now, to address the rally.
I don't know if you can give us a sense of the support that President Maduro is still enjoying, because we're starting to see neighboring states like Colombia, the president there, almost saying to the people of Venezuela, be on the right side of history, support Guaido. Is that something that's a sentiment that's starting to spread in the region?
It's important to recognize that President Maduro was reelected on May 20th, 2018 with 6.2 million votes, which corresponds to around 31% of the total electorate, which is no small number given the very deep economic crisis the country is suffering at this moment. So while Maduro certainly is unpopular, he definitely retains a hard floor of support that is ready to defend him. And more importantly, and equally importantly, he has the support of the armed forces. So, and Guaido, who initially there was a large enthusiasm in the population, on January 23rd, that enthusiasm has waned as it has become increasingly less likely and less probable from many people's perspective that he will succeed in ousting President Maduro.
Is there a danger that there could be clashes then between pro-Maduro and anti-Maduro supporters?
I think that the likelihood is less that because Maduro supporters, Chavistas, are gathering in the west of the city in downtown Caracas near Miraflores Palace. They're not looking for any confrontation in the east of the city. What there is a very dangerous standoff in which you have the opposition mounting this provocation, threatening this key airbase, and the government is unable to take the actions that any other government in the world would take in the face of such an insurrection because the United States effectively has a revolver to its head threatening military intervention. As numerous times, numerous officials have threatened and are continuing to threaten. We recall that just now we saw Mike Pompeo express his full support for Operation Liberty, what Guaido is calling this attempt to take over the airbase of Maduro.
All right, Lucas Koerner, we're going to have to leave it there. That's the editor of Venezuelan Analysis speaking to us from Caracas. And he says that activity is underway and it looks as if some soldiers may have taken heed of the call by opposition leader Juan Guaido to take up the country, or as it were. He's calling it Operation Liberty, and he's saying that the moment is now. But President Maduro is saying that the military is still backing him and supporting him with a number of voters that he got, as we've just heard. He says he still enjoys a lot of support in the country.